Do you want us to be in civil war? Because that's what's going to happen. We're not going to keep putting up with this. And Eric, I like that you suggested that we need to get angry. We do need to rise up and take our country back.
Republicans' calls for civil war have noticeably happened days before a 21-year-old white male shooter took the lives of 3 Black Americans in what is being identified as a racially motivated shooting in Jacksonville, Florida over the weekend.
I would hope that people understand what time it is. I mean, we are in a cold civil war with the un-American left. They have decided that they will use the quote-unquote legal system as a weapon against political opponents.
Republicans have to understand that they're in a political war that is extraordinary and unlike anything we've seen since the Civil War.
Is it only a coincidence that at a time when the right-wing media is calling for civil war and the advocacy of political violence, that we are seeing historic threats made to people like Black District Attorney Fani Willis for doing her job, or threats to Black judges like Tanya Chutkan threatened to be murdered for her life? I wonder.
This is treason. This is a hijacking of our country. This is war. And I hope and pray it gets resolved before we use guns. I really do. I do not want to see bloodshed in America. But we're at war right now. A war for our freedom. Freedom of speech, which is trampled on in Georgia.
Oh my God. The indictment was not about Trump's freedom of speech. It was about him organizing with his 18 other co-conspirators to organize fake slates of electors in a criminal enterprise to overturn an election that he duly lost. Good grief. But I want to replay that first clip with that nut job Sarah Palin, and then we'll break this down further.
Do you want us to be in civil war? Because that's what's going to happen. We're not going to keep putting up with this. And Eric, I like that you suggested that we need to get angry. We do need to rise up and take our country back.
Tell me, what was the Civil War about? Rebelling white Southerners who wanted to keep their inhumane economic system of slavery and decided that their racism was worth blowing up the country for. Today, rebelling Republicans are willing to blow up the country because they cannot face the consequences of their dear leader, Deity Donnie Trump, being indicted for a criminal enterprise in which he tried to overturn the government in order to stay in power. And these calls for civil war and political violence are leading to the disproportionate violence towards Black Americans like we saw in Jacksonville over the weekend. Need I remind you that the Confederacy literally committed treason against the American government. So for any political party, Republican or Democrat, does not matter, for them to claim they want a civil war because they are not getting their way is incredibly un-American and intolerable in this union. Are Republicans willing to go that far to war, to bloodshed, so that they can ignore the cognitive dissonance and inconvenient truth that their dear leader literally committed treason against the government? Unfortunately, the answer seems to be yes. And we don't tolerate bullies in America. We stand up to them. We stand up to them with integrity, and I expect nothing more from you, the beautiful viewer watching this. My name is Scott Johnson. You can find more of me here on The Breakdown by smashing that subscribe button and clicking the bell so you get notifications when a video drops. And you can also find more of me on my TikTok and on my YouTube, which are in the description below. I post some bombshell content. You definitely want to go and check it out. And have a happy Monday.